All consultants administered by the WHO HQ Polio Administrative Team must submit administration documentation at the conclusion of their mission. However, it is important to note that some of the documentation must be initiated upon arrival in the assignment country, so consultants should consider the contents of this video carefully before deployment. By being familiar with these requirements, consultants are well placed to start their missions on the right foot. In this video, we will discuss the documentation required which serves the purpose of concluding mission formalities and also financial reconciliations. Incomplete or incorrectly submitted documentation will prevent our team from releasing final payments owed. Missing documentation also could prevent WHO from offering a consultant future assignments. The consultant's WHO HQ Polio focal point can provide guidance if needed. There are 5 main topics that will be discussed in this video. First, the documents that are needed for mission closure. Second, the timelines for when documentation should be initiated as well as when it should be completed. Third, supporting evidence that must be submitted, such as boarding passes and receipts. Fourth, how to submit the documentation for review. And fifth, the timelines for our review of the documentation and the associated processing. The first document that we'll discuss is the performance evaluation. This document must be initiated on arrival in the assignment country following a detailed and focused discussion with the supervisor as to the expected deliverables and timelines for the work being undertaken. It is essential that outputs concluded during this meeting are documented on the form. These defined objectives can be referenced by the consultant or supervisor at any point as a guide about the agreed upon deliverables. Any adjustments that are required due to shifting circumstances can be captured through the form or by including complementary background as annexes. The second document is the technical report. This report summarizes the work undertaken by a consultant during the assignment and allows for their observations and recommendations at the conclusion of an assignment. Although a technical report template is available to guide consultants towards including key information, consultants must get clear guidance from their supervisors at the beginning of their mission as to the format and content that they require. In general, WHO headquarters accepts technical reports as long as the country-level supervisor confirms the submitted report meets their needs. In their on-arrival briefing, consultants must also clarify what other types of reports or debriefings they will be required to submit at the conclusion of their assignment. The third document is the Absence Record for Consultants, or ARC. The ARC form is used to identify absences from work. Consultants are not entitled to paid absences, including sick days, and must report for duty on all days that WHO offices are open. Consultants must enter days in which they were absent and for which payments should be withheld. For example, sick days, extended R&R leave, approved absences for personal reasons, etc. In addition to completing the forms, consultants must keep the WHO HQ Polio Admin focal point informed well in advance of absences. Please note that on this form you should not enter R&R entitlement days, but days beyond R&R should be entered as R&R extension. The fourth document is the travel claim form. This form must document all of the consultant's movements from the time a consultant departs for their assignment, normally from their residence, and include all movements within a country as well as the dates and details of their travel returning home. Important information that must be included are dates, locations, and modes of transportation. The consultant must also itemize all of the funds that they have received during their mission, and it also gives the opportunity to itemize extraordinary claims that consultants believe HQ should consider for exceptional reimbursement. Claims should not include requests for reimbursement for the costs normally expected to be covered by the incidentals lump sum, or the ILS. Evidence that supports the reconciliation documents is essential. Boarding passes, all accommodation receipts, and receipts for exceptional claims must be included. The supporting evidence must be readable, include dates, amounts, and the location of the services received. In addition, each receipt must clearly indicate the service provider as well as their contact information. for example, addresses, telephone, or email coordinates. Consultants should ensure that they discuss these documents with their supervisor upon arrival in the country to ensure a common understanding and proper planning. It is then a good idea to begin scheduling supervisor meetings 3 to 4 weeks in advance of the return home travel date to ensure face-to-face meetings take place. End of assignment meetings should include focused feedback on performance, discussions on accomplishments, challenges, and consultant recommendations, agreement on absence days during the assignment, and recognition of travel movements up to the day of departure from the country. It is very important to remember and to double-check that forms are completed correctly and signed by both the consultant and the supervisor. Once consultants have returned home with their signed documents, they should complete the travel claim form with the final return travel details, including stopovers, dates, mode of transportation, etc., and submit the documentation to the WHO HQ Polio Focal Point via Indico. The WHO HQ Polio Admin Focal Point will review and address reconciliations as soon as possible, but the process could take up to 3 months, depending on work volumes. Timeliness of processing is impacted greatly by whether the documentation received is correct and complete. At the time of making this video, the costs incurred for COVID testing that are essential to travel to and from the country of assignment, or that take place during the assignment, are reimbursed outside of the incidentals lump sum allowance. These costs can be included on the travel claims second page and must be supported by receipts. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please look for more videos which explain in more detail some of the components discussed in this video. The WHO HQ administrative team is available to provide further guidance if needed.